What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 93 today of the My Player Career Mode. There is a few things I want to say before we get into today's episode, but let's start off with the vote after last episode. I gave you all as a second vote after the first one was very, very close between PSG and Man United. This time around, I changed it. So he had stay until Man United till the end of the season and try and win the quadruple or go to PSG. And after 666 votes, the devil's number, I guess you could say, 392 people voted for the option to stay at Man United till the end of the season and then move on, trying to win that quadruple. And I did see a few comments as well that are very relevant, and I will go over those in a moment as well. But I want to say before anybody, comes on the video and says along the lines of, but the PSG one voted, or the vote for the PSG won the last time, it did, but it was extremely close. And in hindsight, I didn't play the semi-final against Chelsea, so we didn't know if Ben was in a final again. There was a lot of stuff that I should have done before I gave you the vote, and I didn't do that. So that's my mistake. I said it last episode. I'm not going to cover it again. So at most, for everybody that's disappointed that maybe he didn't move to PSG, you at most have, 5-6 episodes until he probably will be leaving Manchester United, because the end of the season is not too far away now, and, we're still kind of getting through this a little bit quicker. As well, you got to remember, Ben has only been here literally, a season now in the Man United colours. So this is only kind of second season so far. So, yeah, it'd be pretty weird for him to only stay a season and a half and then move, especially when he's built up so much and we are still within the chance of winning the quadruple. It would just be disappointing to see it all being thrown away. So that's my kind of, I guess, input on that. But as I said, I wanted to cover a few things. This week I do have an extremely busy week. I've got a couple of important stuff going on. I even have an exam as well at some point during the week, and also I've got some other stuff to sort out. So if the uploads aren't as frequent as they usually have been, I apologize in advance, but just bear with me, guys. I do have a very, very busy week this week. So if it is kind of hindered or anything, hopefully we go back to normal later on next week, because I'm pretty sure after next week I should be okay again. But yeah, I've got some important stuff to cover and kind of get over, so most of the time that I will be having is going to be spent trying to sort that out, alongside, of course, having an exam is not exactly ideal, but sometimes you have to cover that and stuff. So yeah, I apologise in advance if the uploads are affected by that. This game, though, against Bristol City is one of the opportunities of Ben's quadruple. It's in the FA Cup, and it's the first game since Ben has turned down the move to PSG that he will be playing in Man United colours, so they know they've got him now for the next 6 months at least. And actually, it didn't start off well for the home side. Bristol City giving the away side the lead here. It was Hines with the penalty. I have to say, it was a phenomenal penalty kick as well from the Bristol City man. And immediately after, Ben has already declined that move to PSG. It just is sod's law, isn't it? I was sat there saying about the fact that Ben has worked so hard, and so has Man United, to get them in this position, to have the chance at the quadruple. Sod's law that as soon as he declines that offer to PSG, they go and end up playing poorly here against Bristol City and potentially could be out of one of those competitions. However, they got themselves back straight on level terms 3 minutes later when James Wilson converted a cross from the right-hand side and put the home side back into all square. I don't actually know what on earth happened to Man United during this game. It was weird. But it just felt like we were watching a different side from the side that, had played ever so well so far this season in this particular game here. But nevertheless, they still got themselves back on level terms and are still within the shout of the game. And we're only 22 minutes into this one. Into the next highlight, though, coming literally 2 minutes later. The attempted pass up to Ben was not one. The instant pass towards Hines, who turns his man on the edge of the area in some great form so far. And his confidence must be at an all-time high, because he is having a phenomenal game so far here at Old Trafford, going very near to giving the away side a 2-1 lead. And then Man United in the second half began to find their feet. Fielding making a good save from that corner there to stop the home side from taking the lead. But the game was as open as it could have been. Both sides with chances to take this one. And as we continue on, 60 minutes in, again, United with the control at this point. Good turn from Ben. Just about gets past his man there. Should really score with this one. But you can't take nothing away from Fielding, because that is another good save from the Bristol City goalkeeper. And continuing on, it was very much the same from Man United. Again, Ben on the ball, looking to find a way through here. And you're just kind of looking at your watch thinking, how long is it going to be that Bristol City will be able to hold out? But another good ball across and another good save from Fielding. Again, denying Manchester United that opportunity. I mean, it was pretty much the same until the last few minutes of the game when Pogba couldn't win the header against his man. And Bristol City had one chance in the second half. Good save, though, David De Gea. And it was one of those games where, as I said, both teams could have taken something out of this, and had the keepers not have been as good as they were on the day, it might have been a different story. So unfortunately, Ben's first game where he's committed his at least 6-month future to the club. He's ended up with a 1-1 draw, and it'll be going to a replay against Bristol City. Sod's law. I genuinely thought, though, when Man United gave away that penalty, that this game was going to be a situation where we were literally talking about the fact they could win a quadruple and they'd get knocked out within the next week. So I was glad to see the fact that Man United were able to get back on level terms and not get knocked out. But it's not really an ideal way to start the episode off. So, moving out of that one into the Premier League, up against Bournemouth, back at Old Trafford. They have a 13-point lead. You are hearing that correctly. Manchester United are dominating in this Premier League season, which is another reason why I think it would have been a mistake for Ben to move. So, yeah, hopefully you understand that. And to anybody who obviously wanted him to go to PSG, I understand your frustrations at the fact that he's still a Man United player. But don't worry, I will be trying my hardest to let him get another club come the end of this season. And I'm sure if PSG had the money to bring him over in January, they should have the money to be able to bring him over in the summer. So we're not too worried about that one. But going into game, as I said, Man United dominating at the top of the table. I think it was like 13 points. Might have been a bit less. But nevertheless, they're still miles out in front. Chelsea, not the same side they were last year when they challenged them and beat them by a point to the title. It is United dominating pretty much this year. Another good side here. Eddie Howe with a tough task trying to bring his Bournemouth team over and get something from Old Trafford. It's not a bad side actually from Bournemouth. They got a few decent players as well that they managed to sign. So decent little bit of business done by Bournemouth to get this squad together. But it was just really going to be United's day. Yeah, they had a poor performance against Bristol City, but where they've excelled in the Premier League, it's just ridiculous. And they really should have taken the lead inside the first few minutes. Ben shot again, lacking that little bit of finishing that he maybe needs to do in today's episode so far, but a good save nonetheless. And we continued on to the second half, where after the first half, you were expecting Man United to win this one, but they didn't really show too much until 30 minutes to go, when Ben, who had a couple of these chances in the episode so far, managed to convert one. Getting inside of his man. Lovely ball through from Lukaku. He takes this nice and early as well. That's probably what beats the goalkeeper. You can see he's trying to set himself in the goal, and he kind of jumps before Ben strikes it. And again, it frustrates me when I see that, because the keeper, if they jump before they set themselves, they then have to come back to the ground, and literally those minimal seconds can make the difference as a goalkeeper to making a save. If you jump as the striker's setting himself to hit it, you're not set to try and make that save. It frustrates me so much when I see it, because I see it in real life as well sometimes, and it really is annoying, because the keepers, I understand maybe they weren't expecting him to take it that early, but still, you can't jump when a striker is setting up to take his effort. Nevertheless, didn't matter, because Bournemouth, who'd done absolutely nothing up until this point, got themselves straight back on level terms. Poor goalkeeping from our goalkeeper. You can say it's poor, but at the end of the day, he makes the save. Arguably, though, he should have pushed that out for a corner, not back into the danger area, because Bournemouth got on the rebound and somehow, out of the game, managed to get themselves a point from Old Trafford. So, 1-1 draw in the first game, 1-1 draw in the second. What can you say about that so far? Committing his future to the club, and yet not the greatest start to that. So, anyways, we just have to take it in the stride. Chelsea win against Swansea doesn't really mean too much to the table at the current time. But then straight out of that one, we had this game again against Bristol City. The replay this time over at their ground. So a little bit more pressure on Manchester United at this time. And as well, guys, we do have the Carabao Cup final coming next episode for you all to enjoy. So I'm not sure exactly who we are against. I think it's Reading. Of course, it's one of Reading or Ipswich. Of course, after the first leg, Reading were winning 2-0. But I don't know if Ipswich will manage to come back in a game or not. So we'll see who that's going to be for the next episode when it does come around. But I'm probably going to be doing that one as well with like a live kind of, I guess, way. So then that way you'll be able to see my reactions and stuff. I think that'll be the best way for us to do it. But yeah, we'll see anyways what happens when I decide it next episode. Hopefully you are looking forward to that one. Of course, it's not the biggest trophy in the world, but it's still a little bit of silverware, and it's one of the 4 on offer to Ben and Manchester United. Won't be 4 on offer though if they don't start this game off correctly, and correctly they did not. Hines, who was a thorn in the side at Old Trafford, gave the home side the lead inside 8 minutes. I don't know what it was, but our defenders literally just couldn't handle him. He just ran them ragged at Old Trafford, and 8 minutes into the game here in Bristol, he did exactly the same, bringing down the cross and finishing it with the left foot. I don't know what to say about the defending. All I can say is it was not good enough. United, though, very much like they did at Old Trafford, looking for a reply inside the 20th minute. Unfortunately, this time around, they couldn't convert it, but they're showing signs of trying to get back into it. But once again, they're going to have to come back from a goal down if they want to get themselves back into this one and through to the next round of the FA Cup. The current holders as well, may I add. But it didn't get much better. Hines again. I don't know why on earth they couldn't defend against him. Marcus Rojo bundle him down in the box. Hines win the penalty kick. He scored one in Old Trafford last time out, and he's just got one here to put the home side into dreamland and make it 2-0. So he stepped up to the plate, the number 32, taking quite a long run up. I was just gutted at this point, but thankfully we made the save. Manchester United with a lifeline saved the penalty kick. I don't know what on earth was happening to them. They were just crumbling here in the first few minutes. We continued to the 33rd, and we needed something special to happen, and that's exactly what happened when Ben received a pass, took one touch, and unleashed an absolute rocket into the back of the net to beat the Bristol City goalkeeper, and it got United back on level terms. They honestly didn't deserve to be, because after their start to the game, they could have been 2-0 down, and they probably deserved to be 2-0 down the way they were playing. But it's sides like this, when they're playing, poorly, they'll still get a result. And that's, the sign of a champion. I say it all the time, but that is the truth. So another good strike from Ben. I don't think there's too much you can complain about there. The goalkeeper can't be at fault for that. There's not much he could do about it. It's just another good strike. It's his first in the FA Cup, and what an important goal it could be, trying to change the dynamic of this one here. 57 minutes into the game, though, Bristol City second half. Again, they were the better side here. And Hines again, trying his luck to try and get his side back into the lead, but unfortunately he couldn't do it. I tell you what, he had a great 2 performances against them. Over the course of these 2 games, Hines certainly looked very good, but unfortunately nothing happened after that, so he went into extra time. Gelson Martins coming through here. Good save by the keeper, but I've got to say the touch from Martins was a little bit dodgy. And as we continued on, United, you could see they were the fresher of the 2 sides. They had the fitness in order to be able to try and get themselves in this one. Bristol City tiring at this point. Martins again with the opportunity. Should have scored from this one, I think. He ends up hitting the post, and in the end, United very, very poor with that one. But it continued again. Bristol City, as I said, struggling at the point of fitness. Another ball over the top, this time the cross towards the back post. Romelu Lukaku's there, he heads it past the goalkeeper, and it's agony for the home side, who over the course of 2 games now, into extra time in the second one as well, really did play very well and could have quite easily got themselves through the FA Cup. Man, this feels like a semi-final type game, and this is only the 4th round. That's how ridiculous this game has been. Lukaku, though, does the business, and he gives us the lead, and that just sigh of relief came over me. I was like, oh my goodness me, this is an unreal game, and an unreal performance as well from Bristol City, may I add credit to them, but it just showed. With the extra time, they lacked the fitness they needed in order to continue their good performance, and with about 2 minutes left of normal time, Ben here, you can see, very much more fit than the rest of this Bristol City lot. Continuing his run, he's got acres of space at this point, could have squared it, instead goes for the strike. I had a little bit of uncertainty about this one. I don't know if Ben should be credited with it. He does get credited with a goal, but you can see it actually comes off a Bristol City defender. And if the shot is on target, it's Ben's goal. If it's not on target, it's an own goal. So let me know what you think about that in the comments when you see the angle. I'm trying to decide whether or not this one was going to go off target or not. I do think that probably it was maybe just creeping in, but you can never be so sure. So, I mean, Ben's got credited. He has got another goal for his side. It's his second of the afternoon. And over the course of 210 minutes of football, finally Manchester United make it through to the round of, I think it was, maybe this was the 5th round, because I think we went to probably 5th round this one. So, round of 16 now for the FA Cup. It took them 210 minutes of football. That's how well Bristol City played. So, just breathe, just breathe. It's over and done with now. They can just move on to the next game and next episode with the Carabao Cup final. That's the next big aim, because these Premier League games, although there's still a little bit of time left, to try and, I guess, for other sides to crawl it back, United pretty much are in cruise control. They can go into these games knowing full well that they can drop some points and still be top of the table. So, West Ham United, the next visitors to Old Trafford. And I'm so sorry, guys, if you can hear that outside. I don't know what's going on. I think there's roadworks going on outside my window. It's very loud, so if you can hear that, I apologise in advance. Man City down in 13th place. We've said it before, they were having a poor season, but I think they're pretty much safe now. So no real kind of worry for them, I don't think, about going down. There was a time when I maybe thought it was going to happen, but as it stands, I think they're probably safe. So this one against West Ham, it's just going to be another game where they just have to get the job done, really, Man United, and just play well and effectively just grind out the result. Because I know they've got a lot of games to go. They have the FA Cup, the Champions League, the Carabao Cup final, now the Premier League. So there's still quite a few games left, but I'm sure they'll just be grinding out results now and just trying to get ahead of themselves to get that title. And the first chance inside the first few minutes was converted across from Martins over towards Anthony Martial. Gets the run on his defender and scores the header to give Manchester United the opening goal here. A nice way to start off the game. Not having to worry about anything. They took the lead nice and early. And these are always the nicer games to play. When you take the lead kind of in the first few minutes, you know you can then just play your normal game. Control will dictate the play, and after that, it was just simple. So, not a great way for West Ham to start. And I have to say, I don't think that it should be Anthony Martial's goal. I personally feel that one came off of a West Ham United defender. He was credited with it, though, but I feel that should have been given as an own goal. But anyways, it was given to Martial. It's the way it is. And as we continued on again, Ben just about wins it past Sarr. Crosses to an unmarked Martins, who should score. No doubt about it. Should have been Man United 2-0 up. They should be in cruise control. And I don't quite know how he's missed that. That sums him up brilliantly. Last season, right, I said so many times that I don't feel like he was having the impact he should have done. He's a great player, but he does moments like that where you think, what on earth are you doing? And then he can do something ridiculous and crazy and have a really good game the next one. It's just hit and miss with him so many times. But West Ham did have a chance, actually, the only one of the game. And it would have actually counted had it have gone in, because the game was only a 1-0 victory for Man United. So if West Ham would have scored there, they would have got themselves a point out of today's game. So, yeah, a bit of a worry, that one, for Man United, not being able to defend against that one. But nevertheless, 3 points again on the board for Manchester United. Just going ever so closer to that title. Martial's goal making the difference, although, as I said, I feel like it was an own goal, not quite the one of the Frenchman. And that is how we're going to end today's episode off. So, yeah, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has supported the series, supported the channel, and supported everything down the line. As I said, apologies for the upcoming week if there is like a effective an upload, because of the fact that I'm having quite a busy week at the moment with certain stuff that he's doing. And yeah, I've just got to sort it out basically. So I apologize in advance if it is affected. Also, if anybody is disappointed at the fact that Ben is still at Manchester United and it frustrates you in any way, please bear in mind that, of course, we don't have too long left in this season. And I'm sure at the end of the season, we'll probably be moving on. So we'll see anyways. But that's how we end today's episode off, guys, as we do a little bit more training. I don't know if you saw that as well there. We do have an FA Cup 5th round against Bournemouth, so I was right when I said it was the 4th round against Bristol City, which makes it even worse for Manchester United struggling the way they did, but they're through, and that is all that matters. There will be a league table for you guys to check out right now, and you can see it in more detail and see how Manchester United are faring in each competition. If you did enjoy today's video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Also, hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Also, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload on the channel. It's usually 4 PM every day that we upload a video, so make sure you tune back every day there to see a video. So anyways, guys, that's it from me for today. I will see you all hopefully again tomorrow at 4 PM for yet another video. Make sure you don't miss it, guys. I'll see you all then. Adios.